Hey guys, it's Scott with Scotty B Cards. In this episode, we're going to be looking at the top 20 players in Major League Baseball, putting them on a tier list, and seeing who I think has the best long-term collectability. Alright, so you'll see my tier list is a little bit different than the ones you've seen in the past. Usually it's F through A, and then there's an S tier, which is above everything else. Because these are the top 20 players in Major League Baseball, I have the C tier, C+, B, B+, A, and S tier. So 6 tiers, but I don't think any of these players are really below a C. I think they're all decent long-term holds because they're some of the best players in Major League Baseball. I did cheat. I have 21 players because I wanted to include number 21 in this video, but just know I'm going to be taking into consideration past performance, present performance, and what I think future performance can hold to determine that long-term value. This is not a flip. This is like a 5 to 20 years down the road where I think these players' values will be, in my personal opinion. And I do have each price of these players. I have the flagship PSA 10 rookie, and I also have the Bowman Chrome prospect autograph and a BGS 9510. I wanted to give BGS some love because that's what most Bowman autograph cards are in anyways. Just a heads up on the pricing, these prices are from May 9th when I made the list, and so they may be a little bit off, higher, or lower for any given player. So let's get started. At number 21, we have Nolan Arenado. I had to include him as a Rockies fan and a Nolan Arenado collector because I think he's good, and I think they kind of did him dirty by putting him this low. He had an injury-plagued 2020 season, but it was only 60 games, and he was on a horrible team. No offense to the Rockies. They're like the worst in their division. But regardless, I think Nolan is a really good bet. He's on a really good franchise right now. Cardinals fans are really good fans. Rockies fans are really good fans for collecting. Not like the Yankees or Dodgers, but they're still loyal fans who will PC these players. And because of that, his defense is amazing. You know, he has 8 gold gloves, 2 platinum gloves. Platinum gloves themselves are hard to get. It's the best player in each league, not just for their position, but for like overall defensive player. And on top of that, he's like 5 Silver Sluggers, 6 or 7 All-Star appearances. He's just a really good player. He's around 40-something WAR. I think he's at 42 WAR right now at his age 30 season, so I think he'll easily get to the Hall of Fame personally. These are all opinions. Please let me know down in the comments if you disagree, civilly. But overall, right now, his PSA 10 is $165 for his flagship and $750 for his BGS 9510 Bowman Chrome autograph. Both seem low to me. I think they could go up, and so because of that, I think that he is a B+ on this list. Next, number 20, we have Alex Bregman. Alex Bregman will always be carrying the cheater label over his head, whether it's fair or not. Sorry, Astros fans, we're not going to bash him too much, but he will have that on top of his head for the rest of his career. And because of that, his prices are low. His PSA 10 rookie is $75, and his Bowman Chrome autograph in a 9.5 is $280, which is actually a pretty dang good deal. But because of that cheater persona, I think it's going to hurt Bregman. He signed long-term in Houston, and he'll kind of always be an Astro for the majority of his good part of his career before he has a decline and goes somewhere else possibly. So I put him as a B. I actually like Alex Bregman. I think he's really good. I like the way he plays. He's a good defender. He's not amazing, but he's above average. He's not Nolan Arenado, but he's definitely not, somebody who's a negative WAR defender. But on top of that, he's an on-base machine. He doesn't strike out a ton. He gets on base a lot, and he will always have a 3 to 6 WAR for the rest of his career, at least until he has his decline. And because of that, I think he actually has a chance at the Hall of Fame. I don't think it's strong, but I think he has a chance. Plus, he'll be a Houston favorite because he'll be there forever. At number 19, we have Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper is a polarizing figure in baseball, but I think he is a good long-term investment because he is polarizing. People like players who are hated, which sounds silly. Players who are polarizing are good because they get attention and they get love in the hobby because they're talked about. They're shown on ESPN. They're shown being feisty, fighting Hunter Strickland when he gets hit by a pitch. Things like that help a player's value. And on top of that, Bryce Harper is, I think, one of the few players that's actually on a Hall of Fame path. He's low 30s in WAR right now, but he's only 28 or 29. So he has a good amount of time. He's going to be playing till age 40 with that Phillies contract. So he has a good amount of time to get the extra 20 to 30 WAR needed to get to the Hall of Fame. Plus, he will probably get to 400 or 500 home runs. His average will never really be above 310 or 300, again, probably the way baseball is. But I think he's a good buy. Right now, his PSA 10 flagship rookie is $170. His Bowman Chrome autograph, BGS 95, is only $830. For a while, that was one of the biggest cards in the industry. So I think he is in the A tier. And the reason I do that is because I think he's so overrated that he's underrated, and I think he will be a long-term hold. Next up is DJ LeMahieu at number 18. If you look at LeMahieu, he was a good player for the Rockies. He was awesome. I loved watching LeMahieu. He was hurt because he always went the other way in Colorado as well as he does in New York now. Colorado's right field is a lot further out and it's a lot higher. Yankee Stadium is a lot easier for right-handers to poke a ball over that, right field fence. So his numbers weren't as inflated, which sounds silly, I know, but they aren't as inflated for power numbers. But he was good. He had a batting title in Colorado, and he was a Gold Glove defender. But his WAR numbers were hurt because he played there and wasn't a power hitter, like how Nolan Arenado or Larry Walker or Todd Helton was. But overall, when he went to New York, he found, consistency at home and on the road because he was avoiding that Coors Field aspect. And I think overall, he isn't a great investment because his numbers were impacted previously before he got to New York. He's a little bit older. I put him in the C tier only because long-term, he might be a fan favorite for both Colorado and New York. He'll probably be in that Topps Archives retired box where you get one autograph per box and probably sell for $20 on eBay. So overall, I think LeMahieu is a great player, but probably a C on this list. His PSA 10 is $220 because there aren't many of them graded, and his Bowman Chrome BGS 9.5 autograph is only $300. So pretty good deal in my opinion, but still probably a C. After that, at number 17, we have Cody Bellinger. I'm a little harsh on Cody Bellinger because he's a little bit injury prone in my opinion, has the shoulder issue, he broke his leg, someone stepped on first base, not his fault. But overall, I think he is a B tier player. It's a little too early to say. He's won a Rookie of the Year, he's won an MVP, he's won a ring. All these stats that'd be really good for basketball, not so much as in baseball. It's more of a individualized stat thing. So the MVP and Rookie of the Year are great. Titles are great too, but not going to really push you over the top. But if he can't stay in the field and can't be consistent, I can't put him in the A tier, so I have him in the B tier. Every other year he has a great year, and you can kind of see that throughout his career. Rookie of the Year, okay year. MVP, okay year. This year he's just been hurt, so it's not really his fault. His PSA 10 is $140 for a Topps update in 2017, and his Bowman Chrome autograph in a BGS 9.5 is $900. Pretty high. I think it's going to be hard to beat those prices down the road, but he's on the Dodgers, may help him a little bit. Next up, we have George Springer. Lots of injuries. On top of that, he played for the Astros, has that cheater persona like Bregman, but not as good as Bregman. Fantastic postseason hitter, some of the best postseason numbers of all time, but that doesn't really help you a ton in the Hall of Fame, especially if Hall of Fame voters are going to be taking into consider cheating. He is a C tier player in my opinion. His PSA 10 is only $60, the cheapest on the list, because he's not a fan favorite for the Blue Jays yet, and he's not on a Hall of Fame path really, and $140 for a BGS 9.5 10 Bowman Chrome autograph. Now we have Trevor Story. He plays for Colorado. I think he has about 25 WAR at age 27 or 28, so he's gonna have an uphill battle to really get to the Hall of Fame level, which will hurt his values long term. I still have Trevor Story as a C+. His PSA 10 2016 Topps update is $200, and his BGS 9.5 10 Bowman Chrome autograph is $300. I think that's from 2011. You can see he's not super sought after. I have some Trevor Story cards because I like Trevor Story, and I hope if he gets signed by the Yankees this offseason, those cards could go up, and that could change a lot of his ranking in my opinion. I think he still has time to get the Hall, but he has to be healthy and he has to be consistently good. And he is honestly, in my opinion, could win a Gold Glove in his career. Hasn't yet, but if you watch his highlights, he's really good. After that, we have Francisco Lindor at number 14. I love Francisco Lindor. He's one of my PC guys. 2020, he was rough, and this start of this season, he's been really rough with the Mets. Not surprising, he went to a really tough place to hit. He went to the NL East, and he's facing some really good pitchers and new pitchers that he didn't face when he was with the Indians. So because of that, he's a B. His PSA 10 2015 Topps update is $230, and his 2011 BGS 9.5 10 Bowman Chrome autograph is $500. Next up at number 13, we have Christian Yelich. And Christian Yelich, if you'd asked me 2 years ago, this ranking would be different, but he has missed kind of 2 years of his prime. First of all, the shortened season, he was injured a lot of it and wasn't that good. And then this year, he's been injured and not that good. He has a pretty good batting average, but the power numbers aren't really there. I think Yelich will figure it out, but it may be too late to help him get to that Hall of Fame path. For those reasons, I have him as a C+. I don't think he's a bad player, but I think he has an uphill battle. But I think long-term, he could get to that B+ range. Maybe like Nolan Arenado territory if he can put together a few more good years. If he can figure this year out and have 2 more good years after and have like 5 WAR seasons. I think he's a 30 WAR player right now at age 30. So he really has to figure out his injuries. Right now, his PSA 10 from 2013 Topps update is $140. His BGS 9.5 10 autograph is $350, which is a steal compared to where it has been. At number 12, we have Anthony Rendon. Anthony Rendon is one of the most boring, I would say, players to collect because he just doesn't have many spikes, peaks, or valleys or anything because he's just so consistently good. Really, he's above average player for sure. The last few years, he's probably one of the top 5 producers in WAR for the last 3 or 4 years. Before that, he was a good player, not a great player. Now he's a great player. And now that he's with the Angels, he hasn't really done great yet. Last year, he had a top 5 or 6 MVP finish, so I know that's good. But on top of that, he's been a little bit injury prone so far this year, and I just think he'll be overshadowed by Mike Trout. He's not really with the Nationals. He's not really loved by the Angels yet, so I just don't know if he will get the love needed to get there. He has an uphill battle to the Hall of Fame as well. He has an outside shot, but not a great shot at all. So because of that, I have him in that C tier. Right now, his PSA 10 for his 2013 Topps update is $75, and his BGS 9510 autograph is $200. Next up, we have Jose Ramirez at number 11. I like Jose Ramirez, and I think he has a much better chance than some of these other players to make the Hall of Fame, surprisingly. Go look at his baseball reference page. You'll be surprised. I always am whenever I look. He's basically the same age as Francisco Lindor, 1 year older, and has the same numbers, if not better. And so he is with the Indians, which hurts his numbers, but he is fast, he plays good defense, and he's a good switch-hitting third baseman and shortstop and second baseman. He plays all over. And because of that, I have him as a B-tier player. His PSA 10 is $120. He does not have a Bowman Chrome autograph, so check out his Topps Chrome autograph. After that, at number 10, we have another polarizing player, which is Manny Machado. Manny Machado's numbers are really similar to Arenado's numbers. Less stellar defense, but still a great defender. It's hard to compare to Arenado on defense. Manny Machado, I have a B-plus player because I think he will make the Hall of Fame. Personally, if he plays how he has played throughout his career continuously for the next 5 to 8 years, I think he could get there. His PSA 10 is $100 from 2013 Series 1. And his 2010 Bowman Chrome prospect autograph is only $425. I think that is a good buy, and that's why I put him in that B-plus tier. Next up, we have Shane Bieber. Shane Bieber at number 9 is my favorite pitcher in baseball, not named Max Scherzer or Zach Greinke right now, because I think Shane Bieber, out of all the 25 to 28-year-old pitchers, has the best chance to break out and be a Hall of Fame pitcher, in my opinion. If you look at his numbers, he's consistently good. Even when he wasn't known or great yet, he was still putting up a 3.5 ERA, which is great, but he is very smart the way he pitches. He's not going to overpower you, but he can. But on top of that, he'll do a lot of good sequencing to really get the hitter out. He's a B-plus tier player in my opinion because I think he has potential from his values now to really be worth a lot. His PSA 10 2018 Topps update is $120, and his, I think it's 2018 Bowman Chrome, even though it wasn't his first Bowman, but it is his first Bowman Chrome autograph, which doesn't have the logo, is going to be $220 right now. After that, we have Gerrit Cole, and I'm always hard on Gerrit Cole just because he had such a slow start with the Pirates when he started. When he went to the Astros, his whole career was resurged, which helped him a lot. He has an outside chance of 3,000 strikeouts and an outside chance at the Hall of Fame. If he can stay healthy with the Yankees, he'll probably get there, but he has to stay healthy, which is asking a lot because he debuted so late. So I have him as a C+. His PSA 10 2013 Topps update is $190, and his Bowman Chrome autograph in a BGS 95 is about $400. Next up, we have Freddie Freeman at number 7. He's around a 40-WAR player as well, so he's on that verge of the Hall of Fame cusp like a lot of these players, but I think he'll get there. He'll be a Braves all-time great, in my opinion. People will always love Freddie Freeman. He's a first baseman, which ages relatively well. The DH will be coming to the NL, and he could be DHing with the Braves for a long time. His numbers are good. Has an MVP under his belt now, which will help his stats and help him get there. I'm high on Freddie Freeman. I have him in the B tier. His cards really aren't too expensive. They're only expensive because they're really low pop in comparison to anybody 2015 or later. His PSA 10 2011 Series 1 is $300, while his BGS, I think from 2009, is going to cost you $800 in a 9.5. At number 6, we have Jacob deGrom, the best pitcher in baseball, in my opinion. Jacob deGrom, he is definitely the definition of a player that modern Hall of Fame voters would vote for, but past ones would not vote for. He's going to have he has 2 Cy Youngs right now, probably will get a 3rd sometime before he ends if he stays healthy. And on top of that, he has been dominant. He's a really good stretch of dominance over the last few years. And if he can stay healthy, he's throwing 102 miles an hour in the big leagues, and he's, I think, 33, about the same age as Clayton Kershaw, which is crazy in my opinion because Kershaw seems like he's been around forever. But he has a chance to get there. I think overall he's a B player just because I don't think he's a lock for anything, and because of that, I put him as a B and not a B plus or an A. Next up, we have Fernando Tatis Jr. as number 5. Tatis Jr. makes me really nervous with injuries. He's already had quite a few different injuries. He's going to have shoulder surgery at the end of the year. Any swing at any time could re-hurt that shoulder and put him out again on the IL. He had other freak injuries. I don't know if those are injury-prone things or just freak injuries, and he could figure it out and never go on the IL for the next 5 or 10 years. But because he has some injury-prone, threats to him, I have him as a B+. His PSA 10 2019 Series 2 is $230, and his BGS 9.5 Bowman Chrome autograph is $3,200, which is really expensive for me. I think he could get to the Hall of Fame, but it's so hard to tell with him, and the injury bug scares me. The next 2, these are just personal preference again. I have Ronald Acuna. He's the number 4 player from Bleacher Report. And I think his prices are high right now for some of his cards. Before the season, they really weren't when he had not a down year in 2020. He did good, but his cards weren't super expensive. People were excited about Juan Soto instead. I have him as an A-tier player. Reason being is because he has all the tools to get to that higher level. I think overall his cards will go up throughout his career. Mike Trout's Bowman Chrome autograph is worth like 30 grand. Acuna's is at 4,000. I think it could go up from 4,000 between that 4 to 30,000 price range. After that, we have Juan Soto at number 3. Juan Soto is one of my favorite players in baseball. Rough start to this year. He sometimes is a slow starter though, and that's okay. But I think he has the ability to become the best hitter in baseball. I did not say best overall player in baseball because he's never going to be a fantastic defender like, Acuna could be. Acuna right now is not having a great year in center field when he's played there, but overall he has a really higher ceiling than Soto for, Gold Glove defense. But Soto, I was an A tier as well. I think Soto is going to translate very well long term. I think for the next 20 years, you're going to see Juan Soto. DH will come to the NL, he'll stay with the Nationals, and he'll just hit forever. I think he has a good chance to be in the 500 home run club, and he has a good chance to be a really good OPS guy, which is kind of what Mike Trout is. So think Mike Trout without the best base running and defense. So not going to be a 140 WAR player, probably an 80 WAR player in his career, in my opinion. And so for that reason, I have him as an A. His 2018 Topps update is going to cost you right now $225, while his BGS 9510 is the same as Ronald Acuna's at $4,000. So I think there is room to make money there. After that, we have Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts is essentially, besides Mike Trout, the only player that's almost a lock right now. He's around 47 WAR, baseball reference WAR, and he's only 28, maybe 29. He has another 10, 11 years to play. If he only averages 3 WAR the rest of his career, he's going to add 33 WAR on top and be a 70 to 80 WAR player. He's not going to average 3 WAR for the rest of his career. He's probably going to be like a 4 or 5 WAR player. He's never been below 6 outside of his rookie year. Mookie Betts is my favorite player, so this may be biased, but I have him in the S tier. I don't know if he's ever going to have the same values like Mike Trout or Ken Griffey Jr. because he's not like the generational icon, but he is going to be with the Dodgers. He has an MVP. He has Gold Gloves every single year he's played for a full season. Maybe not in 2015, but everything after he has. He's multiple-time All-Star. I just think he's a fantastic buy, especially because his PSA 10 rookie is only $700 right now, and his Bowman Chrome autograph is cheaper than the last 3 young players at $2,200. Last one, number 1, Mike Trout. He is hurt for the next 6 to 8 weeks right now, but I still have him high because Mike Trout is our Ken Griffey Jr., our Mickey Mantle, our player of our generation that people love and hate at the same time because his team isn't great. But I think he'll only increase. I think he's the modern equivalent to that Mickey Mantle 1952 Topps card. People are going to always want his stuff. I bet you his stuff is definitely going to decrease in the short term, but if Trout can come back and play well and stay healthy, that's the big thing, his cards will go up. I've been the S tier. I have his PSA 10 rookie at $4,200 and his Bowman Chrome autograph at $31,000. That's why I think Mookie Betts is a great deal, second best player in baseball. His cards are a fraction of Mike Trout's. So I think he is probably one of the best buys. But anyways, guys, that is my tier rankings. Let me know down in the comments below what you think, what you would change. These are all opinions and subjective, and I could argue and you could argue different things, but let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.